That night, the wind refused to sleep. The moon lowered her gaze, and the stars dimmed, as if they sensed a sorrow about to unfold. A vision came to me, not in color, not in sound, but in grief, in the kind of silence that feels heavier than noise. She walked toward me, barefoot, the woman the world called a princess. But her soul didn't wear diamonds. It wore bruises no one ever saw. She looked young again.
The time you lost will never return.
Not royal, not famous, just a woman, with eyes that had seen too much, and a heart that had been hurt too little. On the first night, I waited for him to tell me I was beautiful, that he had dreamt of me too. But instead, he spoke only of himself. That night, 1,000 cameras celebrated me, but inside, my dream cracked, silently.
I was married, she whispered, but I was still alone. And that's the loneliest kind of silence, the one that echoes beside the person who promised never to leave. I gave birth to sons with a heart full of hope. I held them in my arms while my own heart shattered quietly. He wasn't cruel, not always, but he was somewhere else, mentally, emotionally, with someone else, with her.
He found comfort in another woman, and I found myself fading. There's a grief women know but rarely name, the grief of being alive, and still unseen, the grief of watching your husband come home.
I was his wife, but I was never really his companion. I walked behind him for years, smiling for a world that never looked behind the smile. And every time I cried, I told myself, maybe tomorrow he'll see me, but tomorrow never came. To the women who are hurting like I did, I know what it feels like to carry the whole world in your arms and have no one carry you. I know what it's like to smile through dinners, to keep forgiving what no one ever apologized for, to dress for someone who stopped looking. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not just someone's wife or someone's mother. You are you. But listen to me now.
They dressed me like a fairy tale, she whispered, but no one ever asked if I believed in one. They gave her the crown, the castle, the carriage, but never the comfort, never the warmth. Her childhood had already taught her how to smile through storms, to be gentle in a world that wasn't, to speak softly when everything inside her wanted to scream. And so, she became their princess, while slowly forgetting how to just be a person.
They photographed her thousands of times, but none of them ever captured the loneliness she carried. Not in her eyes, not in her voice. It was always somewhere deeper, buried under the performance. She gave love like rain everywhere, endlessly, to orphans, to strangers, to causes they ignored. But love never returned the way she gave it. Not in her marriage, not in her palace, not in the eyes that watched her fall apart and did nothing.
Even as she broke, she became hope for the broken. But the night before her final breath, the vision trembled. She stood by a window in Paris, hours before the crash, looking out at the city, but she wasn't seeing buildings. She was seeing her life. I don't want it to die, she whispered in my vision, but I feel like I already have, so many times before. In that car, her heart wasn't thinking of cameras or chaos. It was thinking of her boys, two little souls who made her believe in life again. I hope they remember my laugh, she said. Not the headlines, not the noise, just my love. And then the vision shook. Her light disappeared, but it didn't die. It rose, not as royalty, not as a tragedy, but as truth.
If I could go back, I would stop shrinking. I would stop waiting for someone to choose me. I would have chosen myself first. You don't need their love to be whole. You don't need their attention to shine. Your softness is your strength. Your kindness is your crown. You were never just a mother. You are a whole world, a soul, a voice, a force. And when you finally remember that, not just in your mind, but in your bones, you will never be alone again. This was the message she left. From beyond palaces, beyond pain, from the heart of the woman they called Diana, but who simply wanted to be free. And now she passes that freedom to you.